Hi guys, and welcome to the Is It Worth It for the T7 Combat Car. I know this is a fairly new tank to the game, and pretty much all of you who are watching this have probably already owned this car, or I say owned because I reckon a lot of players sold theirs. But again, this is for the future. Wargaming have a history of putting free tanks into the gift shop after a while. It may show up in the gift shop in future, who knows? But I am reviewing all the premium tanks in the game, even the free ones, and unfortunately the free ones all seem to be around tier 2 with the odd exception at tier 3. So it gets an Is It Worth It just in case it shows up in a bundle in the gift shop in the future. So that's the first reason for doing the T7 Combat Car. The second reason for doing the T7 Combat Car is because I recently got the Ace Tanker badge for this car, and I promised myself that I would never play this tank again unless I lost a bet. In order to save me from having to go back and replay this tank at a later date in order to get footage so that I could make this particular video, I decided to do it now so I can kill this thing dead. I can burn it with fire. You guys have no idea the pain and the suffering I have gone through in order to get usable footage of this tank. Here's a taster.
Penetration! 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 Enemy vehicle destroyed! Bail out! This vehicle has had it! The commander is knocked out. We're done for. Everyone get out. Bail out. This vehicle has had it. The commander is hit. We're done for. Everyone get out. We're done for. Everyone get out. Enemy armor is destroyed. One of our tracks is damaged. Bail out. This vehicle has had it. Enemy armor is damaged. We didn't penetrate their armor. Penetration. Enemy armor. We're done for. Everyone get out. Enemy is hit.
I just want to get this thing over and done with. Alright, it is a tier 2 American light tank, and we are fortunate because the two tanks we have done prior to this are also tier 2 American light tanks. So let's compare them. Let's do the last one, the T1E6, which, if you've watched the video, you know I am not a big fan of, but it does have some redeeming features. The T2 light tank, which is another tier 2 premium, which I do love, and if you watch the review, know that I recommend this tank very, very highly. And then we have our T7 Combat Car, the last free gift, and it was given for, I think it was the 15th anniversary of. But anyway, all three tanks are American tier 2 light tanks, so that means they need to be compared. If we look at the hit points across the board, we can see it has the same number of hit points as the T2 light and just slightly less than a T1E6. If we also look at the weights, again fully stocked, 9 tons for the T1E6, almost 8 tons, actually it's not fully stocked, but it's just over 8 tons for the T2 light when it's fully stocked. And we have 10.2 tons for the T7 Combat Car. So it is the heaviest of the three. So we need to look at the engine power. T40 or 244 for the T1E6, 265 for the T2 light tank, and that engine power with that weight makes this a beast. And the engine isn't too bad. It is 262. So the horsepower to weight limit is pretty good. But that doesn't reflect in the speed limit, unfortunately. We have a 48 speed limit for the T1E6, and the T1E6 doesn't struggle to reach that. It can reach that. It only tends to bleed speed when it maneuvers. T2 light tank reaches 72 kilometers an hour, and the T7 combat car, for some reason, is limited to 38.6 kilometers per hour.
One of our tracks is damaged. We've lost a track. We didn't even scratch them. This vehicle has had it. Enemy armor is damaged. We're done for. Everyone get out. We're done for. Everyone get out. Penetration. Time to roll out.
Like the T1E6, even when it reaches this speed, and it can reach this speed quite easily due to the easily sufficient horsepower, it does also bleed speed when it tries to traverse. Speaking of which, the traverse speed, we have a 42 traverse on the T1E6 versus a 47 on the T2 light and a 44 on the combat car, so it is slightly better than the T1E6. It slots right in the middle. Hull armor, again, very poor hull armor on the T1E6, not great hull armor or armor at all on the T2 light, and again the T7 seems to slot in between these two tanks. 15 hull armor in front, 12 on the turret all round, but again at tier 2 light, hit points and armor doesn't mean a thing. We come down to the turret traverse speed, and we've got a pretty decent turret traverse on the other two tanks, and a fairly, well, it's not a bad turret traverse, but it's not great, especially as it is so low tier and it is a light tank, so its turret traverse is not great. But then we come to a positive. The view range, and one of my biggest problems with the two tanks prior to this that I reviewed, was the 260 view range. Well, this has 20 meters more view range. This is 280 view range, and this makes it potentially a viable scout. Well, let's give it the usual scouting test. We are here on Malinovka, and I am heading straight down to one of my favorite little scouting bushes. But, first problem, I should mention that this is one of the first games I played in the T7 car. The ground resistance seems really poor. And I've been spotted. And I can't turn. Compared to even the T1E6. This thing turns incredibly slowly, especially on rough ground. So it has got terrible suspension. But I was spotted. Alright, let's pop back up. Let's test the camo rating again. And I've been spotted again. So I am taking fire. I can't even spot what's firing at me. So the view range is terrible. So whatever's shooting at me has to be in that bush. I return fire. And we spot more, or rather, my team spot more tanks up there. Unfortunately, I'm on a reload. This is a tank I can hurt, but because I'm on a reload... Nope, no damage. Red reticule. No point in shooting. So I can't even get into a spotting position. The ground resistance on this tank is so poor. So I know there's still someone up there. I want to spot them. So I'm going to go wide. I'm going to try and get back to the spotting bush. Gonna try one a little bit further back, maybe. Okay, how did I not spot this guy before?
Penetration. They're knocked out.
Alright, so we killed someone. But I've been spotted. I'm taking fire. Or rather, I wasn't spotted, but yet something was shooting at me. So is it possible I'm still on radar? I don't know. But I can't penetrate any of these tanks. Red reticule. Alright, maybe now we can get back to our spotting bush. Nope, I've been spotted again.
One of our tracks is damaged. That one didn't go through.
So it's a T2 light.
We didn't penetrate their armor.
And he is easily outmaneuvering me. And there we go. My first scouting my first scouting attempt. Yeah, didn't go so well.
One of our tracks is damaged. Bail out. This vehicle has had it.
So once again, to sum up, we have a light tank that is not effective as a scout, even though it does have better view range than the other Tier 2 premium light tanks on the American line. This thing, it does not seem to have camo rating. It is a light tank with decent view range that should be a decent scout, but it gets spotted again and again and again. I don't know what is wrong with the camo rating on this tank, but even the T1E6 seems to have better camo rating. You move at all in this tank, you get spotted. I don't know whether the camo while the tank is on the move is actually working. It could be bugged, but this thing gets spotted. I never had that problem with the T2 Lite, never had that problem with the T1E6. And that view range, which you would think would make it a scout, combined with the really, really poor camo rating, it just doesn't work. This has the same signal range as the other tanks, but again, all three tanks, it's amazing. Their stats are so similar, but they play so differently to each other. And the T7 combat car definitely plays differently to the other Tier 2 American light premiums. Let's talk about the gun. Okay, well, it's an MG. It is not a cannon. It has 50 shells in the magazine. Time of one shell loading is 0.13. Time of complete loading is 24 seconds. That hurts. The 24 seconds hurts, by the way. And here I am on Himmelsdorf. I have gone up the hill, and I have flanked a bunch of tanks who have gone around the church. I have plenty of ammo. I should have more than enough to take at least one of them with me.
Enemy armor is damaged. Enemy armor is hit. Penetration. Enemy armor is
There we
destroyed.
go. There's the first one, but I'm out of ammo. I don't know if the T1 realizes I'm out of ammo, but I'm out of ammo. And behind me, another tank appears, and I'm in all sorts of trouble.
We're done for. Everyone get out.
But the average penetration is 22 millimeters. It's a Tier 2. You're going to be coming up against tanks that are, let's just say, may have up to 50 millimeters, maybe even more of effective armor. The penetration is terrible. The accuracy, 0.53, is terrible. But the aiming time isn't bad. The aiming time is not bad. Well, okay, what's it like with the premium rounds? Let's have a look here. There are none. There are no premium rounds for this. There are no HE rounds. This is it. You are stuck with 22 millimeters of penetration. Okay, you get a lot of them. You get 1,100 in your tank, and you can shoot those pretty quickly, but it has no penetration, so you have to pick your targets really, really carefully. It means you spend most of the time running away. If you come up against a tank that you cannot penetrate, you need to run away. So I usually like to end up with a video that demonstrates pretty much the strengths and weaknesses of any tank I happen to be reviewing. You'll know this if you've watched my other reviews. But you have also seen the pain I have been through to try and get you guys some good games in this tank. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm saying I'm not going to be playing this tank anymore. So I have gotten the Master Tanker. That video has been uploaded, but besides the amount of pain I have gone through to try and find a good game for you guys, I'm afraid this is it, and this pretty much sums up the tank. I have gotten more kills in other games, but this, I think, gives the best demonstration of what this tank is capable of. So we're just going to play. So we are here on mines, and I make the usual run for the hill. My spawn was pretty good. We are up to a hole roughly about 40 kilometers an hour. We'll get there eventually. Slight uphill gradient. We're still hovering around 38, 39 kilometers an hour. Oh, T-18, run away, run away, run away. Chances of hurting a T-18, even if I manage to get behind him, are next to zero. Alright, so no point in going up the hill. Let's try the other side. There are some tanks over the other side. PZ-35T, but what's waiting around to the right? This guy's got about 6 tanks on him. Oh, another T-18. Okay, don't know if well, he's probably spotted me, but I'm not. Okay, so I can't go around to the front of the hill, there's a T-18. Can't go around this side, there's a T-18, so I'm debating running away again and trying my look over on the island. But then I spot a T-7 car above me, and I know I can at least do some damage to this guy.
Penetration.
So we managed a whole 32 damage against that guy before he dies. But now look at the wolf pack over to my left. They're charging down. The T-18 has died. I missed that while I was shooting at the T-7 car. So I'm using my speed again to get into their spawn. I've been spotted, so there's something up here. Oh, a LOL tractor and a T-7 car.
Enemy is hit.
Okay, missed that kill. Someone else ninja'd it.
Penetration.
More damage. Someone else ninja'd it. So I'm up to a whole 134 damage right now. I don't want to cap. I want to give you guys a good game. So I want to go and see if we can do a little bit more damage. So I go on a reload. 20-second reload. I've been spotted, so there's someone down here, but I'm still reloading. It's RT. He misses. I ram him to do a little bit more damage while I'm on the reload, and someone ninjas the kill before I can shoot him. Okay.
Optics hit. Spotting range reduced.
I've just was hoping for an easy kill, but a PZ2 pops out of nowhere.
That one bounced. That one. They're knocked out.
We actually did a little bit of damage, and we got a kill. But the VA dies before we can get around the corner. So believe it or not, I class this as a success in the T7 car because A, I didn't die, and B, I did almost 200 damage. I was going to say 2,000. I did almost 200 damage and managed to get a kill, but I didn't die. If you want to see a slightly better game, maybe watch the T7 Combat Car Ace Tanker. Okay, to sum up, what we have here is a Tier 2 light tank that should be able to perform as a scout, but can't. Doesn't have the speed, maneuverability, and incredibly poor terrain resistance to outmaneuver its enemies. It has a gun that can't penetrate most of the tanks it faces, and it just sucks. I'm sorry, Wargaming. This was a free gift, and I shouldn't be so disappointed with this tank, but I am. I love my scouts, I love my light tanks, and it pains me when I come across a bad one. And this is bad. If you want a Tier 2 premium light tank, go for the T2 Light. It is the best of the bunch. If this thing gets bundled in future and you think I might be interested in buying that bundle because it has a T7 combat car in it, again, great. If you're a collector, buy it, but you're not going to have fun in this tank. If you want a machine gun and you want to have fun in a tank that actually has a little bit of armor, in a tank that actually is fast, in a tank that can maneuver and traverse, you don't need to even spend gold. Yes, you can go buy the T2 light tank if you want to spend gold. You could always buy a PZ2G or a PZ1C, both Tier 3 German tanks that you don't have to spend a penny on. Those things are fun, they're fast. They have no armor, but they have armor compared to this tank, and they are a heck of a lot more fun. I really don't have anything positive to say about this tank. Oh, hold on. I almost forgot. I do have a couple of positive things to say about this tank. One, it is dirt cheap to run. The ammo only costs 1 credit. That means even if you were to fire through your entire magazine, it would only cost you 1,100 credits for a complete and utter reload. So it is cheap to run. But the other positive is we have a fairly decent crew selection. This has 4 crew members. Unlike the T1E6, unlike the T2 Lite, who only have 3 crew members, this thing has 4 crew members. So if you can suffer through playing this tank until you get your daily double, you will be getting it on 4 crew members. A commander, a driver, a radio operator, and a loader. So the only one missing is the gunner. So as a crew trainer, this tank is not bad. But you're going to have to suffer through it. Is this tank worth it? I wish I'd actually bothered to get the plop sound and the toilet flush. Alright. No, it's not worth it. I'll catch you next time.